Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to my backyard. We're making pizzas on this little pizza oven. I've had this about 3 months, and I just want to share some tips, some things we've learned along the way to help make pizzas a little better. So this pizza oven is a 12-inch propane gas oven. This one's nice because it has you want one that has a internal thermometer so you know how hot these get. It has from 0 up to 900 degrees Fahrenheit. This one's small enough that it just fits on the table here. I have it connected to my little propane tank, and you just turn it on here. I did try using a wood burning one that burns like pellets, wood pellets, and that was a disaster. I could not get anything to cook on it. I couldn't get the flame to stay. I had to keep adding pellets. The air ratio, it was really hard to use. So I returned that, got this one, and have had some pretty good success with this one. All right, you might notice that the pizza stone is not inside of the pizza oven. That's because before I grill, about 30 minutes before I start doing pizzas, I fire up my gas grill and let the pizza stone cook inside of this oven. You see it right there? We're up to almost 550 degrees, so I leave it 500 degrees for 30 minutes, and it's just about ready. So I'm going to turn that off. Get my hot pads out. I'm going to move the pizza stone now into my oven and fire the oven up. All right, this pizza stone is piping hot. It's probably 550 degrees. I'm going to put it inside here. I don't feel like this can preheat the stone as well as an oven can, so a grill or an oven is going to do a much better job. So now that I have the stone in there, the stone's probably 500 degrees. Inside, you can see how this is started up. I'm going to wait until the temperature here gets up to about 600, just around 600 degrees. And then I'll be able to start putting my pizzas inside. All right, we got our pizza ready. So just a couple tips on the pizza. You want to make sure the dough's really thin. You want it thin as possible. You can leave the outside a little bit thicker on the crust. You want to go light on the sauce. And then you want to use this semolina flour here underneath this so it doesn't stick to the peel. So if you give this a shake, you want to make sure that the pizza is not going to be sticking to this. This is called the peel. Also, this one is a lot harder to use than this flat one. So we use this one just to get them out. This one we use to put them in, and we'll even make the pizza, we get it prepared on this, so that way it's already on here and we don't have to transfer it from the counter. So just make sure that it's loose, that it's ready to go. Now we're about 700 degrees, so I'm just going to put it in there. And while it's in there, what I do is I get you a pair of tongs. I wear my glove here. We should get a heat-resistant glove. And you just want to slowly turn it. Now that the stone's really hot and it's been preheated, it's already started cooking the base. So you can already see over here on this far side, it's already starting to bubble up here. So you want to just use the tongs. If you try using the peel, it's too hard to. This is a 12-inch oven. It's too hard to move the pizza around with the peel. So just get these tongs and move it around like this. You already see the crust is being cooked here. So it's obviously going to be hotter. The further inside the oven you are, the hotter it's going to be. And you see how that crust is already bubbling up. And that's really in part to the hot stone, the preheated stone. If the stone's not preheated like this, you're not going to get the crust to cook. You'll have a raw center of the pizza. So look at this, how it's golden brown on this side. I'm just going to leave this in. So it's maybe only in there a minute, minute and a half, 2 minutes sometimes, just depending on the temperature. So you just want to keep watching. You want to make sure it's not going to burn. And you don't want to leave one side in on the deep part of the oven too long. So I'm slowly turning it here. So that side was left in a little bit. See, it's a little darker on this side here. It's getting close to being done. Leave it in for just a couple seconds more here. I just want to check the bottom of the crust. Just want to make sure it's cooked all the way around. So I'm just turning it here. All right, it's probably good to take out. That one got a little hot. What are we at here? 800 degrees. 800 is a little hot. As you can see, it's the crust got a little crispy. It's probably cooked the crust is probably cooked really good on this one. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to back off the temperature a little bit. If it can be closer to 650, you don't get the burning on the edges. So I'm going to turn the heat down just a little bit. So here we are making it, you can see, just easy on the sauce. And it's a lot smaller than 12 inch. You don't want to do them too big because it's not going to fit in there. It's going to be harder to turn. So this is a pretty good size. That's maybe like 6 inches or something. Still, they're good enough size. Like this size pizza is still good enough, you know, for a kid size. Though this is fine for them. So we're going to try this one here. Prepared right on the peel, and we'll take this one out and cook this one. One tip also when you're making the dough, you want to make sure you're using a pizza flour. If you don't use a pizza flour, it just seems like the crust does not turn out that well. A little more raw. This rises good, it bubbles up good, and cooks a lot better when you're using the pizza dough. So when you're looking for pizza flour, it's the 00 flour is what it is. So some brands like this doesn't say 00 or 00, but if you're looking for a pizza flour, the 00 flour is what you want. We got this one. We're going to put this in the oven. The oven's still around at 800 degrees, so it's still pretty hot. We'll just watch this one. And we'll just kind of slowly give it a turn here. When it first goes in, it's a little doughy. It's still a little hard to turn. But after, 10-15 seconds, that dough really starts cooking on here. I don't know if you can see it. You can see how it is bubbling. It's probably the cheese and the sauce are bubbling on top of here. That's what you want to see. This one's cooking good. It's cooking well, but it's not burning, and that's kind of what you want. So probably around 750 degrees is good when you have the stone preheated and hot. So see how it's a nice golden brown crust. And we can lift this up and just kind of check the crust is looking pretty good. Looks pretty cooked. This one's almost ready to go out. Got a little too long right here, but otherwise it looks pretty good. And the crust looks like it's cooked thoroughly. So this one we just took out of the oven, and this one was cooked at just under 800 degrees, so about 780 degrees. And you can see the crust turned out really nice. Cooked really evenly, no burning. All right, the temperature is now at around 700 degrees, and that's almost perfect because the stone is still really hot since it's been preheated. So it's not going to burn the top. It'll allow it to stay in there a minute and a half or so, 2 minutes, so that it can cook the crust. That's really the big concern, is just getting the middle of the crust cooked so it's not doughy. And around 700 degrees with a really hot stone, that's how it's done. So when a side gets like kind of this light brown, you want to make sure you're keeping that on the cooler side of the oven right here so it doesn't get brown, because there's still other sides that need to get cooked. So just keeping it rotated. Alrighty, that one turned out pretty good. It turned out really good. No burning at all. Nicely cooked. Light brown crust. And fully cooked in the center. So we've wrapped up all of our pizzas. We cooked about 7 of those smaller pizzas in here. The recipe we use cooks about 7 of those. They turned out great. The kids love these. This is fun to cook outside, especially when it's hot inside, just to keep the heat out of the house and to you know, just kind of come cook these outside. We've really enjoyed this little pizza oven. It's worked out great. Using these tips is really what's helped made this successful and really helped make good pizzas. It's just the right temperature, around 700 degrees, preheating the pizza stone, using the right flour, using the semolina flour to on the peel to get it off, and then just rotating them slowly inside there. They turn out really good. Guys, I'll leave a link to this oven and then others like this on Amazon. That's where we got this one. This has been a great little oven. These are pretty affordable too, around $200. Don't mess with the wood burning ones, guys. I've been down that road. They're almost impossible to use. At least the one I got was. And so I would just say stick to the gas one, the propane one. They just make it a lot easier because you don't have to worry. These pizzas are so temperature sensitive that keeping the fire stoked in with the wood burning one just is so much harder on this. So stick with the gas one. Hopefully I found this at least entertaining. But guys, thanks for watching the video. See the link down below. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks.